Well, Colin, good to catch up as always. We're entering in the final third, if you like, of the season now. Just the league games left, and I guess the final straight in it in many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if we'd have said we'd be in this position at the start of the season, we'd have taken it, and we'd have liked to have won at Barrow. I think we were very unfortunate. Certainly, they didn't surprise us in any way, and so that was quite a pleasing performance. The most important thing, I felt that we weren't bullied, and that was an improvement on the Salford game, where I think there was an element that the physicality of that, we weren't as strong as we would like to have been, and this time I think we stood up to it very well. In fact, there was a lot of it going back the other way, which just shows that this young group is learning to look after itself, and the more senior ones are learning to look after the junior ones, which is great. So I'm quite pleased.
As a club, we don't talk about our position in the league or tweet league tables or anything like that, but obviously it's been a strong season so far. Is there pressure now at this stage of the season, or is it the same as always?
We'll find out. I think it's that these challenges come along, and we'll find out. We don't know where we are. It's very interesting, isn't it? You get to this stage, people get nervous. Everybody wants us to win, as much as one or two people start looking at it from a different way. Their glass is half empty. I understand that sort of one or two are. That's fine. But everybody wants us to win at the end of the day. Everyone wants us to succeed, and everybody wants us to do well. What we need to do is to find out. People say, well, when he plays, we win, or this happens. I understand all of those things, but you can't really do anything but cross the white line at 3 o'clock on a Saturday and come back over the white line at 10 to 5 and see where you are, and we'll find out. We've got a difficult task, obviously, going away to like Chorley and places like that. We'll find out. And one thing I do know, and has been proven, that once we have those experiences, we'll be stronger and better for it. So whether that's for this year or following year or whenever, however many years' time, we will learn from our experiences.
The pressure isn't inward either, in the sense that, much like you've just outlined there, the management team allow the players to develop and express themselves, rather than going out there and demanding that you win X amount of matches to win a league title or anything like that. It's quite organic, isn't it?
He's always said, we'll be competitive. And that's been the mantra all season. We'll be competitive, and people can't argue that we haven't been. We've been competitive. We've been more than competitive, and so we'll see where that takes us, to see that whether we've got an exceptional group of players, or we've got an exceptional coach, or an exceptional coaching team, because it is a team that help those players to become what they are. We'll have to see where we get to. We'll all be older and wiser for it. There's no question about that, and it will stand us all in good stead no matter what league we happen to be in next year. Because whatever league we're going to be in, we want to be competitive again. It's never going to be about survival. It's never going to be about getting by. As a group and as a business, we have to be improving and getting better, and that's the aim, and that's what we look to do.
How's business?
Tough, to be honest. It's tough at the moment. We knew it was going to be tough. Could have done without Joe Lolley's injured foot, and but he's starting to play again, and one or two other things that would have been that we budgeted for that haven't materialised. We've got a hole that we need to fill at the moment, and a hole that I've had to help fill, which is is fine. I understand that. Going forward, business plans are being put in place now. We're all of our projections and everything that are done. How we present that to our fan base and our sponsors and our partners, we're working on that at the moment, as you know, because you and I have got to put together a narrative around the whole business plan. That's very, very exciting. Projections are very, very exciting. The outlook is very, very good. All of the things that we felt we wanted to be are coming together. In fact, they're far more revenue streams coming together than I actually imagined, but that's down to employing great people, and that's the beauty, but we've had to go out and employ those people ahead of the revenues coming in, because the revenues don't come in unless you actually go and bring the people in the first place. So bring Louise Macy in and Adam Crowley have been fantastic additions to the club and to the business. And I'm really excited about the way the business is going to be over the next 5 years, and that's what we'll present to our fans supporters, everybody, sponsors will be showing them where we think we will be in 5 years' time as a business, and also where we'll be 5 years' time as a club.
To put where we are now in context and in proportion, would I be correct in stating maybe that it's not so much that the football club is in any risk, but towards getting to those aims, it just isn't as easy as people might assume?
No, people think, well, we had a good cup run and we got some money in for a player and we did this and we did that, but the football club lost money last year. Been losing money every year, and we cut losses down, but we still have to fill a hole of around £150,000, before we even start. And then one or two things haven't materialised in the way that we thought that they would, that we planned forward, and they weren't ridiculous plans. They were all part of the budget. So when those things don't materialise, they leave cash flow shortfalls, and that's where we are. We're not in a position that we are making money. We do not budget that our crowd will be this and therefore we will make that. Those are just complete nonsenses. We know that we have to fulfil our obligations with regards to staff, with regards to suppliers, and that's what we have to do. We know what those are year in, year out. And at the moment, it's tough to fulfil those obligations. They will get fulfilled, there's no question about it, and we're not going to be suddenly crash and burn, but it's tough, and so I said I'd be honest with everybody, and I'm being honest, and that's the situation. Going forward, I'm absolutely delighted with the way things are looking. I couldn't be happier with the way things are looking, but January, February, March, tough months for us. And we'll keep having to work very, very hard to make sure that we can support the manager and support the team, that we can still maintain this competitive streak that we're on.
And is it about being what we aspire to be, in the sense of being responsible to staff who need wages paying, and as you say, community-based suppliers who need paying? As tough as it is, as you say, we're having to find ways to make sure that happens.
We're a responsibility to pay our players, and obviously we're contracted to do so. We're a responsibility to pay our suppliers because we have an emotional need to do so, but we have a duty to pay for what we owe, and we're trying to get round and satisfy everybody.
Without being flippant, the football club obviously hasn't always been that responsible, has it? So it's attaining that.
No, there's an arrogance about football, isn't there? We're a football club, and therefore you wait your turn. And the football clubs that owe us money certainly have that, and you know that yourself because you've been chasing a lot of football clubs that owe us money. So that seems to be the way in football. Why pay today when you can put it off till tomorrow? But we can't. I don't want to be that way. I want everybody to get what they deserve to get. So it's tough, but we'll it's manageable, and we'll keep going.
One particular pot of powder that's being kept dry at the moment is the money raised fantastically by the crowdfunder scheme. Yeah. What's the latest on that? Because that's obviously still sitting there at the moment. What are your sort of latest thoughts on that and how it may be used?
Thoughts haven't changed. We have a target in mind, a player in mind. We'd love to be able to bring him to the club, and when you've still got your number one target that's kind of temptingly there, that's where you want to go before you go to target 2, 3 or 4 or whatever might be left. We know who we want, and hopefully we can bring that player to the club. We think that the funds that have been generated will help a great deal, but we still would need to find probably more money, but he would be a great addition to the group. And so the manager has always said, and he said at the fans forum not long ago, that 10 games and in is the big time. Obviously you want it sooner if you can get it, but I'd rather exhaust all the opportunities of bringing in that main target before we start looking and then finding out that we could actually got him, and we're all wondering why we did what we did and scratching our heads. So I'd rather put all of our energies and focus into bringing in the manager's target number one, and until we've exhausted that that chance or that opportunity.
Pie in the sky, I know, if that didn't materialise, It's quite obvious that there are options.
Yeah, we
B,
go for
C,
two,
D, and E. Yeah.
2, 3, and 4. Well, what everybody does know that the recruitment here is no fluke. You know, Matt Gardner's knowledge has been a great support to the success of the club. It really has, and so you know, God, he was at Malvern last night, and the night before he was at Coleshill, and the night before that they were at Boston, and you know, it's just or the other way around. They travel everywhere to see games and gather data and more character references as well, which is huge for the manager and guards. They need to know that we're bringing people in who can add to the dressing room and the character of the dressing room, rather than people who are probably a little bit more mercenary. You know, we won't want to go for the wrong types.
And I'm sure that they, being the management and the players, wouldn't want to discuss this at what is a crucial time during the season. But from a supporter's point of view, would your ideal be to maybe tie down the management team or a few of the squad players before the end of the season, if you could?
Before the end of the month. I think I've got the commitments that I want now, which I'm pretty pleased about. So I'd like to be able to make an announcement before the end of the month on everybody. The ones, you know, everybody said we would lose 3, 4, 5 players in January. You know, we were lucky to keep so and so and so and so, but no one's gone anywhere. And you know, we've got an exceptional management team, and you know, that would include everybody in the management structure. So that's Gardy and Kev Phillips, who's been brilliant, and Malcolm and Josh and everybody really who add. You wouldn't believe how well they all get on and how they, you know, contribute to the success. So I would like to be making a positive announcement about players and staff before the end of the month, and we're in negotiation, so we are talking.
And that echoes the point you were making earlier, that financially that does make things very tight and very tough, but in terms of keeping the club aspiring to what it wants to be, that these are decisions you have to make, aren't they?
Well, when you're talking about new contracts, it's very rare that people negotiate down. So yeah, it does mean that, you know, you need to find more money, or you need to be confident that the money's going to be around in the coming months. You know, so but you know, something I used to do for a living, so you know, it's good fun. But it's not tough. Everybody loves their job and everybody wants to stay. They absolutely love their work, and so it's not tough. But people deserve to be rewarded properly for the job that they do.
And if anyone else watching has any other questions for you, next weekend an ideal time to come and see you?
Yeah, it's been quiet, hasn't it? You know, we've had 3 fans forums and a total of 6 people come to see me. So.
Chairman surgeries, that is.
Excuse me, chairman surgeries.
Yeah.
They're either shy or there's not a lot wrong. So, you know, if there's anything people need to know, then come and ask. I've said all along, there's absolute transparency. There's nothing to hide. I won't obviously divulge salaries and things like that, but apart from, you know, things that are more personal, anything to do with the business of the football club, then it's your football club as well as ours, and therefore you've every right to know.